Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. I have two questions for you tonight, and they come from two of my interesting kind of distant mentors. One is Marshall B. Rosenberg. He's the creator of the nonviolent communication, and his impact on the world is just tremendous on helping communities connect in a way where they can actually have a conversation without violence. And the second one is Sara Blakely. She's one of the first female billionaires and just a very inspirational story and mentor. So here's the first quote by Marshall. "Every time I mess up is a chance to practice." Now both these quotes have a similar theme in the respect about how our mind wraps around trying and failure. So often we think failure is something to be abhorrent, right? Something that we don't want to happen, something we want to avoid. But in reality, failure, if we embrace it as the process of learning, we fail to our success, it changes the way we kind of approach things, because then we can approach things with curiosity. Curiosity is about, oh, maybe that might work. Oh, let's tweak that a little bit. Let's improve this little part, right? That's where all really amazing foundational ideas come from, is the playing, is the idea of how can we make this better, but in doing so we have to fail maybe 1,000 times, right, before we might get it right. But like the story of WD-40 is the 40th try to do something. 40 was the number of experiment that WD is water displacement. They were doing trials, and they're like, oh, well, this could actually be useful in other areas. So they hadn't intended to make WD-40 for what it was, which is kind of interesting, right? So the second quote is by Sara Blakely. "Most kids are asked questions like, what would be the best part of your day? Or what was the best part of your day? Or what did you learn at school today?" So her father proposed a slightly different question. She says, "My dad used to ask my brother and me at the dinner table what we have failed at this week. And I can remember coming home from school saying, 'Dad, I tried out for this amazing play and I was horrible.' And he would high five her and say, 'Way to go.' And then he would actually be disappointed when they couldn't come up with what they failed at. Because from his perspective, it's, if you're not failing, you're not really trying, right? If you're not breaking through your comfort zone, you're not really growing." And it's such an amazing shift in mindset. Because if we can teach our children and teach other adults for that matter, that failure is really something to be celebrated. Because that means if this is your comfort zone, everything outside, right, is basically a fail zone. Because it's something that we've never done before, something we're not comfortable at. So if we're not failing, we're not growing. And if we're not growing, we can't be happy. That's kind of a powerful statement, right? There's two keys to happiness: progress and service. Without those two things, we tend to die a little bit inside. And I think this really highlights the portion of progress. So if we can shift our mindset just a little bit, it's amazing the outcomes that can happen. I hope this helped you a little bit. If you'd like to know a little bit more about Sara Blakely or Marshall B. Rosenberg, send me a message. I'd love to chat a little bit more. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening.